Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to another Figma review. And today is EX-018 Iron Man Mark VII full spec version from Marvel's The Avengers. So before whipping it out, let's take a quick look around the box. Through the window on the front of the box, you can see the figure itself as well as a lot of accessories over here to the left. As always, pictures on the sides here and over here as well as on the top and down here on the bottom as well, exact same picture. Around here on the back of the box, we have some pictures of the figure in action, and so far this looks absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to get this out of the box, so let's not waste any more time. Let's bust this open and see what we've got. Now moving on to the inner clear packaging, and first up is the figure itself over here, which so far looks amazing. An alternate head here with the visor open, a whole load of accessories here. Alternate arms, shoulder parts, the thrusters in the back, 4 alternate hands we can see here, as well as these alternate front leg parts, and 4 effect parts down here. So that's a lot of stuff in here. Down in here we have the figma bag, alternate hands, the base, and the stand, as well as a spare wrist joint, and lastly, the instructions. On this side, a list of the included parts, and in here, how to put everything together. So now let's check out the figure itself. So here is Iron Man out of the box, and he looks amazing. Iron Man is already an awesome looking character, but this is a fantastic looking figure, and really does him justice. The first thing that really stands out to me here is the paint job. Max Factory have done an amazing job here. The shades of metallic red, gold, and silver are perfect, and they just look so good. The sculpt as well is absolutely fantastic, but it does have a lot of moving parts. It does feel a little bit delicate. I will talk about that later on, but the sculpt here is top notch. Zooming into the head now, and that looks amazing, perfectly sculpted, and there's a lot of nice detail all the way around there. The eyes look fantastic in a kind of opaque clear plastic, but they do beg to be lit up, and that is something this figure doesn't do. They would look absolutely savage if they were lit up, but sadly they don't. Now moving down to the chest section, and the same thing can be said here as before. The arc reactor in the chest looks really nice, but like I said, begs to be lit up. The detailing on this plate here looks amazing as well, and this paint seriously catches the light. It looks so good. This is a really well articulated figure, so all these parts, these plates here, are individual segments, and that makes it look even better. Actual separation always looks so much better than implied separation. Moving around to the back, and just as fantastic as the front, it looks so damn good. Again, some great detailing, and that paint in the silver, the gold, and the red looks amazing as well. Just like the front, all these parts back here do separate out a bit, and you can see the detail in there is superb. Moving now into the arm, inside there you can see a bit of silver detail. The shoulder pad looks awesome, and the arm looks amazing as well. This figure looks so good that this is one of the first times that I'm actually starting to notice the figma joint here. Some nice detail on here, and around in here you can see the repulsor in the palm of his hand. Great detail here on the legs. Again, the paint looks fantastic down here, silver, gold, red, and the way the plates are layered here looks absolutely stunning. Some nice detail in here hidden underneath these flaps, some more of that awesome bright silver in there. And finally onto the feet, and they look superb as well. A lot of plating down here as well that looks like it can move, and yes it can, so that looks perfect. The paint on here is absolutely flawless. I can't see a bit of paint out of line anywhere. This is one of the best paint jobs I've seen on a Figma yet. It just stands out so much. It probably helps that this is just mainly armor and doesn't have too many small fine details to be painted, but it just looks amazing. This is a fantastic looking Figma. So here is Iron Man with everything that he comes with. So this guy does come with a lot of stuff, and you have to remember this is the EX version of this, the full spec version. This does come with a few more parts than the standard Figma version. What exactly? I'm not particularly sure. So what I think comes with the standard version, correct me if I'm wrong, is the hands here as well as the effect parts for the repulsors. And what is exclusive to this figure are the missiles in the arms, the open parts for the legs, the head with the open visor, these missiles for on the shoulders, and these open back panels here. So now taking a closer look at everything, and here is the rack of hands. And what we've got here is 2 open palmed hands with the repulsors there on the palms, as well as these holding hands here. And as Iron Man doesn't come with anything to hold, you can use these to hold other Figma's accessories. Next up are these hands with the pegs on the palms, which are for using with the repulsors repulsor beam effect parts. We also get another similar set of hands, also for using with the effect parts, and these ones are for poses in which Iron Man is mid-flight. And of course, the spare joint as well. Next, the repulsor effect parts. These are in a clear orange plastic with white highlights on the bottom. These come in short and long, the short are for using with the hands with a hole in the bottom. To attach these ones into the palms of the hands, they just attach onto this peg. And the long are for using with the feet, and they have a peg on the bottom here. Pretty much the same down here with the longer one, except the other way around. The peg on this just sticks into the hole in the feet. Just like that. Now moving on to the EX exclusive parts, and first is the head with the open visor and Tony Stark's face in here. And the face here looks pretty damn good, and it does resemble Robert Downey Jr. Maybe that's why this figure costs so much. Next are the open parts for on the legs, and these look amazing in silver and gold. And there are two of them, one for each leg. Switching the leg parts is pretty simple. You just pull off this section like that, and then just stick on this part like so. Next is the open forearm with this open hatch and missile. That also looks amazing, and the paint and detail here is fantastic. And there are also two of them, one for the right arm and one for the left arm. So to attach this, you just pull off this arm, take this little grayish white section out from here, like so, and then just stick that on. Then just reattach the hand back on, like that. Next up, the open shoulder hatches, and these are incredibly detailed. They look fantastic. And you get two of those as well. To switch these out, you just pull off this section like that. That's pretty simple. And just stick this one in there like so. And last up is the alternate back section with these open hatches or flaps here on the back. And that looks pretty cool. These are pre-posed, they're not articulated, but it looks amazing. And to switch this part out, you just pull off the entire back section like that, and then stick on the alternate piece. So a lot of accessories packed in here, so you'll have a lot of posing options with this figure. Moving on to articulation, and starting from the head. So the head all the way to the front, all the way to the back. So that's double jointed at the top here as well as here. That can rotate all the way around. A little bit of a side to side tilt there as well. So there's the arm all the way up. The shoulder armor there kind of gets in the way, and that can rotate all the way around. So this is connected to the joint in there, so that does move with the arm. There's also a bit of rotation here at this point, so that can rotate around there. The bend at the elbow all the way up, so just over 90 degrees. As for the wrist, this is one of those newer Figma style joints, so it does have a lot of articulation. Can bend down like that, up like that, and that can rotate all the way around as well. This little section here is soft, so that can move around quite a bit and won't get in the way of the hand. Onto the articulation here at the waist, and this is all the way to the front, which is pretty damn nice. All the way to the back, so there's not much movement really at the waist per se there towards the back, mainly to the front. But it does move a bit down here as well to give it some more back action there. So this is all the way to the front, including the joint down here, and all the way back. So that is pretty damn good. So again, this whole section here and side to side, not much at the waist itself, mainly down here at the crotch. This part here really isn't a solid section. It looks more like a big pair of red iron tidy-whities really. And that can move around quite a bit, so it won't get in the way of articulation, but can look a bit funny sometimes. So now articulation at the hips, and there is the leg all the way up to the front, all the way to the back, and all the way out to the side. So not a whole lot of movement towards the side there, but front and back is pretty good. Next, the bend at the knee. These knee sections here do have a bit of articulation to them. They can move up and they do snap off quite easily, but they're pretty easily reattached. And last, articulation at the foot and at the ankle. There it is all the way down. As you can see, this back piece will move to accommodate that movement there. All the way up to the front, and same here, this part will move. This can't really rotate very much because of the side armor here, so that won't be rotating around all that much, and it does have a tilt side to side as well. And lastly, there's articulation here at the toe. That joint is quite loose, however. And I've just noticed here that there is another joint in the leg here, which allows for some rotation side to side like this, but also an extra little bit of bend in there as well. So some absolutely awesome articulation here on the Figma Iron Man. So now moving on to quality, and the quality of this Figma, as usual, is top notch. As you've seen already, the paintwork is absolutely amazing. No stray lines or splotchy paint anywhere to be seen. But there is one thing I do worry about a little bit with this figure, and that is paint chipping. This figure seems to have been painted in a metallic silver followed by a translucent red, so the translucent red seems like it can chip off and show the metallic silver beneath. I have noticed this at a couple of different points, like here and on the leg, and this is only about after 30 minutes of messing around with this for the review. And another one down here just between these armor plates. Personally, I found this a bit annoying. A brand new figure just scratching up so easily like that is a bit irritating. But what could be a positive take on this is it doesn't just scratch and show the plastic underneath. It looks like if actual painted metal was scratched, so that does look pretty cool. It is a bit annoying that it chips, but at least it looks metallic underneath, so it looks natural. So I guess it could look a lot worse. So how this paintwork will hold up over time is hard to tell. Sadly, it may not be all that durable and might not be able to withstand much play. This is a very intricate Figma. It has a lot of small moving parts. A lot of these parts are very delicate and may be prone to breaking very easily. This isn't a quality issue, as like it says on the box, this isn't a toy. It is an adult figure and it is very delicate. So that is just something to take note of. As for the most part, the joints are all good and tight as well as strong. But this section in here from the crotch up to the chest is a little bit on the loose side. The legs are a bit as well. If you hang it like that, it just kind of flops down. But with the legs, you can kind of pull these iron underpants down a bit, and that will kind of lock the legs in position a little bit, like so. But as for the waist, there's no way I can find to keep him upright like this for flying positions, so he does sag a little bit. He won't always stay all the way up. Sometimes it will catch and hold him up, but it does flop down a little bit sometimes. But for the most part, this is an absolutely incredible quality figure. If you were to ask me, which would I recommend? The exclusive version or the standard version? So I would say if you can get the exclusive and it's not insanely expensive, I would recommend going for the exclusive. So that is it for my review of Figma EX-018 Iron Man Mark VII full spec version. So this is the third Figma release from Marvel's The Avengers, and the fourth Marvel release including Spider-Man. I'll cut right to the chase and just say he's definitely my favorite of all four so far. And up next will be the Hulk, and that is something I am really looking forward to. From what I can see, it's possibly gonna be the biggest Figma to date, and that's something I can't wait to take a look at. But anyway, it's an absolutely awesome Figma with an awesome paint job and awesome details. It's just plain awesome. But it does have a weak waist joint, and the paint job is very easy to mark, but it does mark naturally and kinda looks a bit like battle damage. But all things considering, this is an awesome Figma. So if you can get your hands on it, I would recommend the full spec version. But if you can't or can find the standard version at a price that suits you, go for that one. You're not missing out on a whole lot. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and come back for more Figma reviews.